In the vast kingdom of Ardania, there once reigned three powerful kings, King Aldric, King Cedric, and King Roderick. For years, they had maintained a strong alliance, ensuring peace and prosperity within their realms. Their unity was admired by all, and their kingdoms flourished under their wise and just rule. However, as time passed, a dark cloud began to loom over their once unbreakable bond. It started with whispers of treachery and betrayal, murmurs carried by jealous and power-hungry individuals who sought to sow discord among the kings. These rumors found fertile ground within the hearts of the monarchs, fueling seeds of doubt and suspicion. King Aldric, the eldest and most experienced of the three kings, was the first to succumb to these insidious whispers. His mind was clouded by thoughts of his fellow kings plotting against him, seeking to strip him of his rightful power. Fearing paranoia gnawed at his soul, leading him to make hasty decisions that would have dire consequences. In an attempt to protect his kingdom, King Aldric secretly forged alliances with neighboring lands, regardless of the potential harm it would cause to his fellow kings and the unity they once cherished. He justified his actions by believing that he was simply taking necessary precautions against the perceived threats that surrounded him. King Cedric, a noble and honorable ruler, was taken aback by King Aldric's sudden change in behavior. He had always believed in the strength of their alliance and the power of unity. However, faced with evidence of Aldric's betrayal, his heart sank. Cedric's faith was shattered, and a feeling of bitter betrayal settled within him. No longer able to trust his once beloved ally, King Cedric felt compelled to take action to protect his own kingdom. He began to seek new alliances, turning his back on the unity that had once defined their trio. It was a decision that weighed heavily on his conscience, for he knew he was forsaking the principles that had brought prosperity to their lands. The news of King Cedric's newfound alliances reached King Roderick, the youngest and most idealistic of the three rulers. Roderick had always admired the unity and camaraderie shared by Aldric and Cedric, and their disintegration filled his heart with sorrow. But instead of following in their footsteps, he chose a different path. King Roderick resolved to confront his fellow kings, to seek understanding and bring them back together. He believed that their unity was worth fighting for, that the bond they once shared was stronger than any seed of doubt or whisper of betrayal. With a heavy heart, he set out on a journey, determined to restore the honor and unity that had been lost. As Roderick arrived at Aldric's castle, he was greeted with suspicion and apprehension. Aldric, consumed by his fears, refused to listen to reason. The once strong and steadfast alliance had crumbled, leaving only bitterness and resentment in its wake. Undeterred by the obstacles before him, Roderick turned his attention to Cedric's kingdom. There, he found a ruler torn between duty and the weight of his choices. Roderick pleaded with Cedric to reconsider his alliances, to remember the honor and unity they had sworn to uphold. But Cedric, wounded by his own sense of betrayal, could not find it within himself to let go of his newfound allies. Heartbroken, Roderick returned to his own kingdom. As he stood atop his castle's ramparts, gazing out over the lands that were once a testament to unity, he vowed to honor the memory of their alliance. He would rule with fairness and compassion, maintaining the values they had shared, even if it meant standing alone. And so, King Roderick ruled with unwavering integrity, striving to be a beacon of honor and unity amidst the shattered alliance of the three kings. Despite the growing discord and animosity between his former allies, he remained committed to the principles they had once held dear. As the years passed, the consequences of their fractured unity became evident. The once prosperous lands of Ardania were plagued by conflicts and instability. Trade routes that had flourished under their joint protection were now vulnerable to raids and disruptions. The people suffered as the kingdoms turned against each other, their unity now a distant memory. Deep within their hearts, all three kings felt a profound sense of loss and regret. The whispers of treachery and betrayal had torn apart a bond that was once unbreakable. They realized the gravity of their choices and the damage inflicted upon their kingdoms. In a moment of clarity, King Aldrich, burdened by guilt, reached out to his former allies. He confessed his fear-driven actions and admitted his grave mistake. With genuine remorse, he sought forgiveness and a chance to rebuild what had been lost. King Cedric, weary from the consequences of his own choices, felt a flicker of hope reignite within him. The longing for unity and the desire to restore their once harmonious relationship stirred in his heart. He too yearned for redemption and a chance to mend the rift that had torn them apart. United by their shared remorse and desire for redemption, Aldrich and Cedric journeyed to Roderic's kingdom, seeking reconciliation and forgiveness. They stood before him, their heads bowed, ready to accept whatever judgment he deemed fit. But instead of casting them away or exacting revenge, King Roderick opened his arms to his former allies. He understood the weight of their regret and acknowledged that they were all victims of their own fears and insecurities. In that moment, Roderick realized that forgiveness and unity were the only paths towards healing and prosperity. The three kings, once again standing side by side, vowed to rebuild their alliance, stronger and more resilient than ever before. They set aside their grievances and pledged to rule with honor, integrity, and a renewed commitment to unity. Together, they began the arduous task of restoring peace and stability to their war-torn lands. They sought to mend the broken trust among their people, mending the wounds that had festered for far too long. The kingdoms of Ardania slowly began to heal, as the leaders worked tirelessly to rebuild what had been lost. The story of the betrayed unity and dishonor among the kings of Ardania served as a stark reminder to future generations. It became a cautionary tale of the devastating consequences that can arise from mistrust, fear, and the erosion of unity. The legacy of King Aldrich, King Cedric, and King Roderick endured as a testament to the power of forgiveness, redemption, and the unwavering strength of unity. Their kingdoms flourished once more, bound together by a newfound sense of honor and a commitment to never let their unity be shattered again.